The hydrological cycle. There's water, and it is a big cycle. It's at some stage of all that cycle, all the water. Now there can be water in the ocean, in the seas, in the lakes. And for evaporation, that water comes then into the air as little vapor, evaporation. Then this vapor can make condensation. It cools down, becomes water droplets, which can fall down as rain, which is precipitation, but precipitation is also snow and hail, sleet, even fog. And when it can come down as snow, becoming then snow or glaciers or ice and keep standing there. It can be rain and falls onto the ground. There it can be intercepted, there can happen interception. It can be taken in by trees, leaves, or just stand around on the roofs. It can make infiltration into the ground. It can also make overland flow or surface runoff and flows over just as overland flow just over fields, or also as something through channels or through rivers. Now, it can make infiltration into the ground, and then it can make through flow through the ground. The process of going into the soil is called percolation, and it can be then make also groundwater flow, flowing then deep down to the next ocean, seas, rivers. And the water standing in the ground or the place where the soil is saturated with water is called water table. So if someone would dig a hole a few meters deep, then there would stand the water after some time. And to that level, the soil is saturated with water. And then it flows through diverse ways into the lakes and seas, and that evaporates again. Through overland flow, through flow in the ground, a groundwater flow back there, or through transpiration, I think I said it, from the leaves, again up, from the leaves into the atmosphere, and then make evaporation into the clouds, which then condensate into the clouds and the water droplets. Or evapotranspiration, the whole process from transpiration to evaporation, becoming then transpiration, becoming then condensation, and then precipitation back to the ground. Now, that all is according to Geography by Jane Ferretti and Brian Gressley on the page 14. The positions and views expressed are the ones of the source and not necessarily aligned with my own, or with the ones of the entities spoken of.
Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn hydrology, today the hydrological cycle, and after we've done it, we're going to do body-centered training. And if you participate in the body-centered training, then it's better you ask. The hydrological cycle, or the water cycle, is the continuous movement of water between the land, the sea, and the atmosphere. No, I haven't read it, but I think I know what I'm talking about. It is a continuous cycle through the sun heating all the time the water up from the ground and everywhere, and it evaporates, and when it cools down, it falls down, and it evaporates again and falls down all the time. Precipitation, that is all water released from clouds such as rain, snow, hail, sleet, and fog. So precipitation is the water falling down from the sky, which includes also fog. I don't know what sleet is. So rain, snow, fog, hail. Surface runoff. Water flowing across the surface. The water may be in a channel, such as a river or stream, but may be overland flow, when it makes its way across a field or down a roadway. Okay, surface runoff is every type of water. It can run in a river, or in a channel, in a canal, or it can just go over the ground. Interception. In this context is it when water collects on objects such as leaves or flat roofs. Okay, the water is intercepted for a little moment. For example, inside of leaves or on roofs, on flat roofs, and keeps standing there. It is intercepted and stays there. Infiltration, that is when water soaks into soil. Okay, there's a field and the water goes in and keeps inside of the earth, inside the soil. Through flow, when water soaks into soil and seeps through towards the river or the sea. Okay, sandy area, and it's just going through, and it goes the other side again out, and it goes to rivers, seas, and so on. As surface water, maybe. Percolation, the downward movement of water through soil into rocks. Okay, the through flow was into the soil, through it to the sea, and percolation, the downward movement of water through soil into rocks. Okay, they are maybe similar. Through flow, it goes in and then to the sea, and percolation is the movement just down. Groundwater flow, the movement of water below the water table. Water which is stored underground is called groundwater. I think they mean here what we had in splanology. Water which can go there through caves. So it is under the ground, so it's groundwater, and it can be flowing there when it's groundwater flow. Evaporation, when water which is heated by the sun becomes vapor and rises into the atmosphere. This may take place over land or sea. Okay, there can be water just standing in a puddle, and after a sunny day the puddle is empty and all the water has evaporated. It can be also in the ocean where it isn't so obvious, but at lakes it can be seen. That goes on. Transpiration. Oceans are too big, it's just raining on another side again, or the river flows in, so it doesn't work that your water is taken away. Transpiration. All plants lose water through their leaves. Transpiration is when this water returns to the atmosphere where it evaporates. I don't really know what they're talking about. Do they mean sweating? Transpiration. All plants lose water through their leaves. Okay, yeah. Out of plants have water in them, and then it goes out of them. A plant can be green and full of water, and after some time it is dry. Okay. Transpiration is when this water returns to the atmosphere that evaporates. Do we mean everything is atmosphere? Because how could the water not be? How can the water be in the atmosphere without having been evaporated? Okay, out of plants also water can come out again, not just in lakes standing there, but also out of plants. Evapotranspiration, the term for the process of both evaporation and transpiration. I'm not sure if I can do something with it. The word is almost longer than the explanation of it. Condensation. When water vapor is cooled and turns into water droplets to form clouds. So water is in the air, I think actually in gas. The water is in the air, and then it condensates, it is cooling down. Over time there's some droplets forming, and if it's enough, then it rains down again. And if it's enough rainfall in one place, there's an ocean. A puddle. Water table. The upper level of saturated ground is not a table. It is not a table, it is not even flat. So, the upper level of saturated ground. It is not a table, it is not even flat. The level is closer to the surface in winter when there's plenty of rain. I think they mean the place at which there is water in the ground. If one is digging a hole, at that place there is then actually water standing in it. That would make sense. But it is in regions where winter is higher in the winter, and when it has rained a lot, that the water table is higher. So that if someone is digging a hole, suddenly a few meters deep, it can be very little, when there is water actually then starting to stand in the ground. No longer in the soil, there's not moisturized soil, there is then actually water standing. Okay, we read that. If you were here for hydrology, you can go directly to the next part, where we try to make a little presentation and try to say most of them as much as possible. 7, 8, 10 of these words, what we mean in the whole cycle. Maybe we're going to take one look now more at it and try to make a little presentation just to say the hydrological cycle or the water cycle. If you were here for that, you can go directly to the next part. If you stay here and participate in the body center training, the feet are standing hip width apart, go down into the knees, flex the legs and raise them together, and then straighten one leg, and then bend it again. Now the other leg, straighten it, and bend it, and up. Legs to the sides, down, flex the legs, press them together, go over to one side, to the other side, middle and up. And one leg up. The right leg of the leg, flex foot, even aligned hips, tall up with the back, and press from the top against the knee. And now on the other side. And press up and to the side. And press on the outside. And up. Close again. And down the other leg up and press from the top. And from the side. And up and to the side. Press from the outside and open and close. And now for the exercises on the ground. First, cycling on the elbow. Then with one leg up. And then on the long arm. One arm up, one leg up, pull the knee to the elbow. And all to the other side. First on the elbow. Then with one leg up. And then on the long arm. One arm up, leg up, knee to elbow. And up again. One heel onto the ground and pull the toes in. And move the leg from left to right. Other heel onto the ground, pull the toes in and move the leg from left to right. One leg up and point the toes down. Change. Take the leg at the ankle. Tuck the tailbone in. Change. Legs to the sides, breathing around. And out. Again up. Out. In and close the legs. And out. That was the body-centered training. I thank you very much. And next time.